If you've watched any of my videos from my Camino in 2021, you know that in 2018 I actually did a short Camino starting in Sarria. On message boards, on Facebook, I've said I would not recommend starting in Sarria unless there's no other way to avoid it, like if you don't have enough time to walk the Camino. And even then I would say walk a different section of the Camino. Don't be a Sarria starter just because you want a Compostela. Come back when you can walk for a longer period and truly earn that Compostela. And I say this because of my own experience. Now, there are people out there who say, well, what was your 2018 experience like? What was it about that Camino that put you off being a Sarria starter? Not a sorry-ass tartar, but a Sarria starter. Well, I figured I'd just take the videos that I shot, edit them down a little bit, throw in some commentary. I admit I'm a little bit critical of myself in this video because I really didn't like the version of myself that was walking from Sarria to Santiago. And you'll see why when you watch it. The good news is that wasn't the last 113 kilometers of my Camino. It was the first 113 kilometers because after I walked those, I said, I gotta get back here. I gotta do this again. I gotta do a longer one. And I did, and you know that, and you can watch those videos and the movie I made about it anytime you want. They're all on this channel. In the meantime, if you have a little time and want to laugh at Sarria starter, this is the video for you. I'm off to the airport to Madrid. The walk starts tomorrow. I'm gonna be now waiting in line to check in. Now we're standing in the rain while everybody up there just checks around. I'm in the Madrid airport now. Gotta find the bus terminal. I gotta go through customs yet. Gee whiz, I forgot about that. I was acting on probably one of my greatest fears. One of my greatest fears, a recurring nightmare I have at night, is being lost. Being somewhere, not knowing where you are, not knowing how to get back to where you need to be. And sometimes you just have to face that fear. Jesus, people, we have a track number. Can't wait to get on this train and get going. Oof. 5. Train now, we're coming into Sarria. We're in Sarria. It's very early in the morning. We have groups of pilgrims getting off to start the Camino here, so it's cold enough to see your breath. But we're on our way. I think the stress and excitement of this trip has led to a nice little cold summer right here. This must be the way. Let the day begin. Well, the sign implied this way, but I don't know. There is a bit of a climb here. Well, that steep part's done. I'm looking right in the sun, but you can't let a moment like this go by without. First day. It already feels like I belong here. Just wanted to pause a minute, take it all in. It's beautiful here. What is this strange sound? There's the road before us. You see this kind of valley here, down here. What happens is there's a river down there, and Portomarin's on the other side of it. What we see now is that we are going down, down, down rather quickly. We climbed up over those hills. Now we're coming down. At the basin of this is the valley where the river goes through. Cross a bridge. On the other side, Portomarin's on the hill up above that. So it's one of my greatest fears, a recurring nightmare I have at night, is being lost. So, what the hell happened in 2018? How did I get lost? How did I get turned around so much? Well, keep in mind it was my first day on the Camino. I didn't know how the Camino looked or rolled or played out. I didn't know how it angled off from roads to dirt paths to whatever. This is what the Camino looks like normally. You go this way. Now, I had missed a turn and gone all the way down and was about to take this long route this way. So I was walking down this way. And see that road there? That little road there is the Camino. That's where it goes off. You wouldn't know because there are no markers. Over in the corner, you'll see it's August 2014 when this was taken. So this looked this way. And to a Sarria starter who's never been on the Camino before, it's easy to get confused. You're not used to what markers you're looking for and anything. So I ended up going this way. That's the way I should have gone over here. I ended up going this way. And keep in mind, it was at a time of the day when there were no cyclists or hikers or anybody to say you're going the wrong way. And I went all the way down here. Had I just turned to the right, gonna go back up here, there's the Camino marker right there. But from that angle, it's hidden by this road. But what I did is I went down to this point, and I remember getting to this intersection specifically, and I looked around and I'm like, wait a minute, where the hell am I? The road went down that way. I said, something feels wrong here. This doesn't feel like I'm on the right place. There's the road I came down, and my instinct, because I didn't know the Camino that well, my instinct was to keep going this way, which had I kept going that way, I would have gone clear the hell down to Paradella or someplace. And so I called my wife. I said, where the hell am I? And I said, hey, can you look online, tell me where Paradella is? How close is it to Puerto Marin? And so she got online and said, oh, it's clear the hell down, you're going the wrong way. So I had to turn around. I had to go all the way up and catch this road. Now, I didn't have that same problem in 2021. I was actually looking for the road, plus the Camino did a little favor for us. 3 years ago, first of all, those yellow arrows weren't painted there 3 years ago. I come walking along, singing a song, singing David Bowie, loving the way it's echoing back from the hills, and I walk all the way down there, about a kilometer, not realizing that I had walked past this Camino marker, which is hidden over here. Look, these people were following me. These newbies were following me. They thought I was heading on the Camino, and they didn't even see it. But back in 2018, if you've never been on the Camino before, it's easy to miss this little dirt trail, and that's what happened. I went all the way down there, cleared the bottom of that hill. Before I realized I was going the wrong way, I had to climb all the way back up. I've heard that the people that started at the beginning kind of resent the people that started Sarria and just walked the last 100 kilometers. And then somebody had to graffiti one of the mile markers and say Jesus didn't start in Sarria. So the whole point of that is to make you feel guilty for starting in Sarria, is how it's pronounced, instead of starting at the beginning. Well, guess what I had to do? I might be sleeping in the rain in the middle of the forest. I want you to see what we have to go down to get down to the road. This was a Roman settlement when the valley got flooded. I'm afraid I'm going to drop something, including myself. Now I'm here. First day into the Camino. I came late and I walked in the rain, so I get to enjoy this view alone. What a view it is. I slept the sleep of the dead last night. Oh my goodness, I feel much better. You've got to see the mist that's come over the valley here. Look at that. Look at that mist. Wow. Continuing on the way. Those are the steps I climbed last night. And I met somebody from AA up there who lives in Fort Myers, Florida. Very close to me. What are the odds? Crazy. I gotta be honest with you, I thought all of these hikers here were peregrinos who had started in Saint-Jean. It's only in hindsight, having walked a longer Camino 3 years after, that I realized these are all Sarria starters, just like me. That's why I don't think anybody's humble when they start this. I certainly wasn't. I've only been on the Camino 30 hours and I'm already a fucking expert. This pilgrimage, this way, is bigger than me, it's bigger than you, it's bigger than all of us.
It's a holy pilgrimage, where you connect with the God of your understanding. And I understand, I believe, now. Why that connection comes to discomfort, pain, and suffering. So I was not humble when I started this pilgrimage. But I feel myself being humble.
Second day, needing to stop a lot more. I am leaving Gonzar. This is kind of the story of my pilgrimage. I'm usually alone. Not going too much further today, maybe 7-8 kilometers. Not a Matt Krause video unless I sing a little bit, eh? No, we're not going to show you this fucking clown singing, but if you want to see something really funny, check out my eloquent stick technique in the following clip. Coming up in 3 days. So I learned I've been using these wrong. So that video you saw of me using them earlier, a few days ago. I have hit a plateau, literally and figuratively. Halfway up, I thought, this is ridiculous, this is stupid. Why did I decide to do this?
All the times people told I couldn't finish something. All the people, some of my good friends now when we were younger. And,
walking the Camino, holding hands. I love my wife, but I couldn't walk the whole Camino holding hands with her. It's hard enough to walk it by myself. Let me tell you something. This is probably one of the hardest things I've ever done. 3 o'clock, we're gonna rest for the night. So that's what we're doing. There's my backpack. There's where I'm staying. Go down here to the main courtyard. I haven't felt very connected on the Camino. I had a dream last night, and in the dream, I was sitting with my father and my mother. They're both passed on, but in the dream they were there. And my dad looked at me and said, "You're not listening. I can tell you're not listening." Two things to notice here. One, the lower belt of the backpack is tied high above my abdomen, not around my belt line, so it's putting strain on my lower back. This will come back to haunt us. And two, these are not good hiking boots. These are actually fashion boots I bought at Kohl's and thought they would be fine for the Camino. I'm passing through the little town of Legonde. I've got to tell you something. I had another dream last night, and I don't remember much of it except a giant ant this big. An ant this big was on my pack, and I kept brushing it off and it would jump on my arm and jump. I want you to look at something. There is some sort of ant theme here in Porto. Look how big that ant is. That's how big the ants were. The ant motif continues. There's a giant one here, and there are 2 more over there. Path and came up here in the forest for reasons you can probably guess. We'll wait for the pilgrim to go by before we get back out there. You know, when you seek to know yourself, you get to a point where you can read your own expressions. And I can look at my expression here and remember exactly what was going through my head at the time. I had come on the Camino seeking a specific experience that I had observed in the movie starring Martin Sheen. So here it was day 3, and I was not yet having that experience. And I can see the frustration in my face. Village. Place de Rey. Not metropolitan, but it's a bigger town. Here I am at my albergue for the night. Here, look at the view out the window. I want you to take notice of the sort of maroon awning down here. This place is Casa Camino, and as you can see from this Google Street View map, there it is. This is the kind of one of the main roads in the middle of main walkways in the middle of Palas de Rey. So I was actually staying at this place over here in 2018, and right up there is the window that I was looking out. So you can see over here the awning. You can see the buildings that were also in that street view. The irony, I don't know if it's irony or the thing that's just cool to me, is I was taking this video in 2018. On October 19th, 2018, on October 18th, 2021, so 3 years minus 1 day, that morning I was sitting right here getting ready to go on the walk with my friend Daryl, who I had met the night before. We're here having coffee. He went off this way to find an ATM. And I'll admit it, in 2018, sitting in this window, I was pretty lonely and miserable. Basic dorm room. I don't know what's coming up here, but that's a nice area. Look at that. This space here, bathroom. Nobody came back to that dorm that night, or to that albergue. I was alone in that room. I'm not sure how that happened, but I was, and I felt very disconnected. Then 3 years later, minus 1 day, I'm sitting right here with Daryl, having coffee, and feeling absolutely connected on the Camino and excited to get walking, and just what a difference a couple years can make. Not a lot going on right now, even though it's a Friday night. It could be hopping in it, but it's weird. So we're in for the night. It's Saturday morning. They want us out by 8. It's about 7:15 now. Sun doesn't get up till almost 9 here. Got this thing today. It's a weird place to be in Spain somewhere, relying on the kindness of Yellow Arrow. Before I take this apparatus off, I want you to see how goofy it looks. I was telling my wife last night, it feels a little bit like high school. Really don't have any connections yet. So I've been alone most of the time at the albergues. I've even been alone. It seems like people have already built Camino families, and I, joining late, don't really have one. And here is the issue right here. This is why I was put off by my walk beginning in Sarria. Now, most of the people who do these walks from Sarria bring their own family. They bring their friends. They bring their spouses, whatever. And they're the ones that talk and talk and talk and seem to have a grand old time. I walked alone because I wanted a specific Camino experience, something unique to me. And I did not get it beginning in Sarria because 4 to 5 days is not enough time to build a strong Camino family, to make those kind of connections, the kind of connections that I wound up making when I came back 3 years later and walked for 5 weeks. You just can't do that in 5 days. That said, I did meet some people that I got along with, and we had some good conversations, but I never had a Camino family in those 5 days. And just like that, you're back out in the wilderness. One of the many holy sights you will see on a pilgrimage, an unusual shrine to the pilgrim made out of rebar. There are people who walk 20 to 30 kilometers, 30 kilometers a day. I'm barely able to make 15. And let me just say that doing this project has opened me up to a bit of tenderness towards this old version of myself. Clearly, this is why I had so much resentment against him, because here he is saying, I'm weak. I can't do more than 15 kilometers a day. But when I went back to the Camino in 2021, there were days I went as many as 35 kilometers a day. So I not only was unaware of my own strength, but I didn't believe I had any strength. And that was hard for me to swallow at that time. It took 3 years, as I say, to get to a point where I said, I have the strength. I'm going to do this or die trying. Zen Master awaits. We're in Melide now, and Porco, or octopus, is now the fun part, trying to find a place to stay for the night. And in the dorms we go. I'm down here. I did become friends with a couple guys at this albergue. Both of them were from Melbourne, Australia, and I'm from Melbourne, Florida, so we called ourselves the Melbourne Brothers, and we went to dinner together. Never really encountered them again, but the Camino gave me a little taste of what it could be like. Another day. At the hill above Melide, on our way back down Camino. Beautiful, eh? It's like a miniature grain house, right?
Yeah, miniature.
Buen camino.
Buen camino.
They're killing peregrinos. You learn something about yourself on this Camino. For me anyway, I have to... Wait a minute, what's this? That's a Camino marker back there, and this clown's too busy talking to notice it. Let's watch the fun. And while I was recording that video, I walked all the way up there, not realizing that the marker is over here. I love my Camino.
¿Eh? ¿Otro?
You?
No, you.
No.
¿No?
I just, video blog.
Ah, video blog. Pues mira.
German cafe in España. That was fun. About 5 kilometers to my stopping point for the night. So I learned I've been using these wrong, not rhythmically applying them and balancing the weight and everything. So that video you saw of me using them earlier, a few days ago. I've reached my destination for today, Arzua. I'm the albergue, and my back is killing me. It's 1:30 in the morning. I am the only person in this albergue. There are only like 15 beds, and I was the only person that checked in, so once again I'm alone. I don't like being lonely. And I hurt my back yesterday. The pain was so bad I was afraid I might not finish. And I have to finish. I've waited too long to do this. It's not even 100, it's 114 kilometers. It's not even the full Camino. But if I can't walk into Santiago, I'll be devastated. The streets of Arzua are empty. I feel like the last man on earth. Easily one of the worst nights I've ever had. It's a weird vibe here, being the only person in an albergue. A horrible back pain. I'm afraid I might not make it into Santiago. really agonizing pain. Pain bad enough to make me scream. I'm in pain, but I have an ice pack up underneath my backpack pressed against my back. There is absolutely no light here except my torch. Wish you could see that view beyond. It's just starting to come into light. Sun coming up. Stop to get cocoa and juice. There's the mist on the field. Check it out. Sun's coming up on the fields over here, look. That's my shadow on this bridge. Excuse me. I'm mindless today. The town we are now leaving is called Kaye. According to the guidebook, it's a town forgotten by history. And it certainly looks and, feels that way. As if the bad back wasn't enough, you can see from my burping and coughing that I ate something that disagreed with me. Junta Albergue up there. Well, this is an interesting historic landmark for my Camino. This is where I found the spoon. And when I came back in 2021, I tell you the story about the spoon, so no need to revisit it here, but I needed a spoon, I found a spoon. This was not my first Camino Provides moment, but it was the first time I was truly aware of it. This has been a strange Camino, and it's my first. For a while I was saying I can't wait to come back. Now I'm debating whether I will. Check it out. Not bad. Neither is this. This was the day I walked into Santiago. Now in 2021, this was a grand and glorious day, but in 2018, when you're only walking less than a week, Anyway, let's just cruise through the highlights and cut to the chase. We go up to the rooster, turn right. I will not do this again. I'm sick to my stomach. I'm really tired. Don't know if I'm gonna make it. So this is Monte de Gozo, means Mount of Joy, on the hill going down into Santiago. And all the romance of the Camino ends just like that. I think I'm going the right way. Who knows anymore? It's now Wednesday. I arrived yesterday in Santiago de Compostela. I didn't go to the cathedral. I didn't go to the office to get my Compostela. I just went straight to the hotel. A lot of pain. Sick. Exhausted. A lot of questions as to whether or not, I don't know, a lot of doubts about myself. The Camino broke me. Anyway, now we're walking up just to look at the cathedral. That is Leandro. I met him earlier on the walk. In fact, I have a photo of him on an earlier video. He gave me some very good, excellent guidance on how to get around here. Approaching the cathedral now. When you enter Santiago, but don't go straight to the cathedral, go to the hotel, shower, sleep for 15 hours, do your laundry, and then walk to the cathedral, well, it kind of loses something. You can see by my camera motion, I wasn't even sure where to look. I was just following directions from someone, and I was a tourist. I was not a peregrino on this Camino. I'll be honest, I didn't know what was going on here when I sat and took this video. All I saw were a bunch of people who were connected, and I realized that they had walked longer and had something more vital and real than I did. And that was when I made the decision. I made all the suffering worth it. And I'd do it again. Maybe I will do it again. Buen camino, my friends. And if you must be a Sarria starter, don't be a sorry-ass tartar like I was.